Hey there, Gemini. Welcome to your reading for the week of March 17th. You have this card that says, you deserve to be seen. It says, let yourself be known. You have this go inward. It says it's time to connect with your inner child. I don't know why I feel like I'm talking weird today here, Gemini, but I feel like my mouth is just not working. So there you go. And maybe you feel that way. I just did a reading and I was perfectly fine. But in your reading, I feel like I just ate a whole entire jar of peanut butter all of a sudden. So maybe you're a little bit tongue-tied this week, or maybe just at the beginning of the week you feel a little bit tongue-tied about something. I'm not sure, but it definitely popped into my head. So there you go. You have the Eight of Swords, the Fool, and the Emperor. The Eight of Swords can be a little bit of a stuck feeling. Wouldn't really surprise me even if you're watching this reading early before the 17th. You know, this video will be published on the 13th. And even before it was published, it wouldn't surprise me if you have had like a moment in the first 2 weeks of March where you felt stuck, or you felt like, I don't want to say that you felt screwed, but you know, maybe there was something that popped up for you where you're like, wow, there is no way out of this situation. You know, you could have had one of those moments. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat what I feel on this Eight of Swords. It really feels like, to me, something where you're like, wow, there is no way out of this, right? And I don't really have a good example for you, but it's like, you know, I'm not saying you got fired or anything, but it's like, imagine if you had bills and you got fired from your job and you had to pay rent and all of a sudden you weren't making money. You know, I'm not saying it was like that, but kind of like something along those lines, I feel, had maybe popped up for you. And it could have been just a fear. We see some cards here that would really just kind of represent, not really, I'm not saying that the worry or whatever happened was an illusion, but, you know, like kind of, you know. And the Eight of Swords is all about realizing that the reason she is stuck is because she's only looking at one way to do something. And so the Eight of Swords is about looking at another way to do something. You know, maybe I've been saying this to you for a little while. You know, I feel in some ways it's almost like Gemini's superpower has been turned off for a little bit of time. Your superpower is being able to look at both sides of an issue. It's also about, you know, being able to make connections between different ideas, which is usually where Gemini's genius comes from, you know, is being able to connect unrelated ideas and, you know, turning that into a business or success in work or whatever, right? And it's almost like it's been turned off. And I feel that really there's no point in talking about it because I feel that it's being turned back on. It's like your superpowers are coming back online. Maybe that's what this reading needs to be called. You know, I kind of feel that it's almost like you're like, oh my God, where have these skills been? You know, because it's like you're so used to being able to do it and you haven't been. I don't know, kind of interesting. You have the Fool. The Fool is a card of taking a leap of faith. So I feel it's also, of course, a card of a new beginning as well. And sorry, I can't take my eyes off this reading because there's just like a lot going on. Like, I feel that you could have a lot going on this week. And like, I'm just noticing all the connections and everything that's touching and all this other stuff. Like, we have these three kings with the Emperor here, which is interesting because if we had the King of Wands, we would have the Emperor showing up here. But anyway, you have the Fool. Definitely some sort of new beginning coming in for you, and you could be taking a leap of faith this week as well. You have the Emperor. I kind of feel like this is you, though. You know, I feel like this is you taking control of your life. A lot of people have been getting the Emperor recently, and, you know, he has his armor on underneath his cloak, and it represents the fact that he is ready to go at a moment's notice. He is ready to take advantage of an opportunity before it, you know, as it presents itself. But right now he's just sitting on his throne, so he's kind of like waiting for an opportunity. But when the opportunity comes along, he's gonna attack it. And I feel for a lot of you there could be some, you know, really solid opportunities for you this week. So I would be paying attention. This could be an opportunity that you've been waiting for as well, because we go up to the Temperance card. Even though Temperance represents Sagittarius, I kind of feel that Temperance card is what's talking about the return of your superpowers. You know, the Temperance Angel is mixing two things together, which Gemini is very good at doing. You are very good at taking, you know, seemingly different ideas and kind of making them work together. So I definitely feel that. With the Eight of Swords, you have the Devil. I'm pretty sure almost every single person has had the Devil this week. I would definitely be careful of anyone coming back from the past. You know, we're just in a time that is really bad for exes. You know, it's like this is we literally have the perfect storm of X's coming up. A North Node in Pisces. North Node in Pisces, super karmic, can definitely bring back X's. Venus retrograde, Mercury retrograde, both retrograding into Pisces. Can't make this stuff up. The two eclipses basically at the same time. It's like a perfect storm for toxic people to come back. So I would just avoid it, block, and move on, right? With the Fool, you have the Eight of Cups. We were talking about this little bit of a stuck moment with that Eight of Swords and the Fool. And the Eight of Cups could be you realizing that something that was keeping you stuck is walking away from it could actually be a blessing. It reminds me of a job. It's like sometimes, I think people get fired for a job and they're upset that they got fired. But at the same time, it's like when they really think about it, they're like, yeah, but you know what? I complained about this job every single day and I hated it. So it kind of gives me that feeling that it's like some of you could have had a hard time or a stuck time letting go of something, but you could also be realizing that whatever this thing is that you're walking away from, it's really a blessing that you're walking away from it. So, he doesn't know where he's going. The Eight of Cups is, I don't think it's a bad card, but I definitely think it's a challenging card in some ways because he is walking away from something. These 8 cups do provide him with some sort of fulfillment, but he would be settling if he stayed in the situation. The Eight of Cups says we can't settle. If we want something, we have to go for it like he does. He's walking into darkness. He doesn't even know if he will ever find fulfillment or not. He is taking the risk. And so a lot of you clearly are taking that risk with this card. I'm also noticing in your next row, you have this skunk card that says know your worth. So you're probably doing this because you know your worth, Gemini. With the here, you cannot make this up. Are you kidding me? I literally said it. I was so focused on this, I couldn't take my eyes off those 3 kings here, and I was thinking oh, we're just missing the King of Wands, and there you go. You definitely could be attracting an Emperor. You cannot make that stuff up. I love when that happens, Gemini. But there you go. Definitely could be attracting an Emperor type person into your life. In your next row for what's coming in for you, you have this card. It says turn your knowledge into wisdom, which is, again, probably the Eight of Swords, turning one thing into another, which Gemini is very good at. You have the skunk spirit. It says know your worth. Yes, I feel like you need to believe in yourself more. I feel like you need to believe that you deserve to be heard and seen and all those other things. So I feel it's definitely time to speak up and, share your skills with the world and all that other good stuff. You have the Three of Pentacles, the King of Cups, and the King of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles says teamwork makes the dream work, of course, so anything you can do to work with other people would be a good idea. The Three of Pentacles is also about the quality of the work. I feel this is something you've been fighting for a long time, Gemini. It's almost like you've been fighting for attention, or you've been fighting. And I don't mean this in a bad way. I mean this in a good way. Like you've been trying to stand out for your work. You've been trying to stand out in business. You've been trying to get the attention you deserve. It's like you have the skills. And the other weird thing is I feel some of you have had those experiences where it's like you see someone else doing what you're doing, and it's like they're getting all the attention, and maybe they don't even know 10% of what you know, right? And so I feel a lot of you have had those experiences. The good news is I feel like it's finally switching. It's like you're finally getting the recognition you deserve, and that's definitely popping into my head. You have the King of Cups. The King of Cups can represent your emotions. Because of the eclipses that we're having, we're going to have one right now on the 14th or the 13th, depending on where you are in the world. And yes, I know that this is for the week of the 17th, but, eclipse energy lasts for 6 months. So there you go. But we also have one at the end of the month. And so, eclipses can make things very emotional. The King of Cups has very deep emotions, and the story of the King of Cups is that he has explored his emotions to a very deep level, and because of that, he's able to operate in the world, even though he is in choppy waters, right? He has these choppy waters around him, but he isn't worried about what's going on around him because he has explored his feelings, and he understands how he feels. So I feel a lot of you are kind of working on your emotions. You have and this is also helping you, by the way, the King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles is about stability and wealth. So a lot of you could be working on increasing your wealth or increasing your stability. Now, the King of Pentacles, he does something very specific to make this happen. And what that is that he works on his skills. He has these grapes on his cloak, and grapes in the tarot represent having a skill that's difficult for most people, but it's something that you can do well. So he kind of really nurtures his skills, and he makes himself better by learning about his skills. He's always improving, and because of that, he is secure. And so a lot of you, I feel, could be working on a skill or a talent, gift, skill, or ability that you have, and learning more and educating yourself more, and that will probably help you the most. And it will probably also lead to a lot of abundance as well. So, that looks really good. But let's see. With the Three of Pentacles, you have the Moon card. I mean, literally, you cannot make that up. I mean, the Moon would keep something hidden, and that's exactly what I felt on that Three of Pentacles. It's almost like you have been kept hidden for a long time. Is what I feel. It's like your skills haven't been able to shine bright as you want them to, or maybe you haven't been able to stand out as much as you want to. And I feel like that's all about to change. It's like you're really about to step into a time where you're going to get the recognition that you deserve. So I feel really good about this, actually. With the King of Cups, you have the Page of Swords. If you want love, by the way, I feel like there could definitely, absolutely be like an emperor type person who has their eye on you. This person will, I feel like, this person will communicate with the Page of Pentacles. This could also be you communicating with this person. You're going to have to take it how it resonates, it's like, obviously, if this person doesn't know you exist, then you might have to do something to like put yourself in a position to flirt with this person. But again, it could be them communicating as well. With the King of Pentacles, look at all these kings. You have the King of Swords again here. So the King of Swords would be a person with a lot of knowledge and wisdom. Like you could be attracting a person who has a lot of knowledge and wisdom, or you could be attracting a very mature person as well. You could also be attracting a person who has a lot of air in their chart. They could be any sign. Fire definitely stands out to me. I mean, obviously you have all four elements showing up here, but fire and air really stand out to me here, Gemini. So, take it how it resonates. You also have Sagittarius right here. You have Sagittarius and Leo here, or any of the fixed signs. So it could be any sign. General reading. But it's probably someone who's like very mature, very hardworking, successful, probably has a lot of knowledge and wisdom with the King of Swords. In your next row for the messages from your future self, you have this Boundaries card and this Meant to Be card. There you go. If you're looking for love, sorry, I didn't switch my camera. If you're looking for love, you have definitely could be a person that's like meant to be. Now, this makes sense as well because, everybody has had really good love readings right now, and we have Venus retrograde. And, most astrologers say don't date during Venus retrograde. Number one, I don't think astrology should control our life. Number two, I think as long as we pay attention, we will be perfectly fine. It's only when you don't pay attention that you get in trouble with the retrograde. So, if you meet a person, and also, by the way, during a Venus retrograde, I would absolutely date. I've done it a million times, right? But I would just take your time. I just wouldn't rush. I would, communicate, but, maybe take it a little slower than you normally would, and you'll be fine. The other thing that I've said to other people is that this card says meant to be. The universe isn't going to bring a person into your life that you are meant to be with and be like, oh, they're an idiot. They chose to date during a Venus retrograde, so I have to ruin this now. It's like, that's not going to happen. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. It doesn't matter. So, there you go. You have the Strength card, the Page of Pentacles, and the King of Swords. Did I say the Strength card? I don't know why I said that, but it could be a Leo that's coming in for you. But you have the Temperance card. The Temperance card, part of me feels that the Temperance card is saying you're getting your superpowers back, like I said at the beginning of the reading. He's mixing those two cups together, and he is practicing alchemy. So it literally says that you have the ability to turn one thing into another, and I would take advantage of that ability for sure, Gemini. I also feel that you could be kind of like getting ready to start something new, or, didn't I say something about preparing for something in your reading? It's like you're getting prepared for an opportunity, and I definitely feel that with the Temperance card. You have the Page of Pentacles. The Page of Pentacles could represent communication. So again, if you're meeting a new person, you could just be starting with communication. The Page of Pentacles is a card of studiousness, and I am definitely a huge fan of studiousness right now, Gemini, because it's just like a really good time for learning. And also, you have that King of Pentacles. Again, he doesn't just rest on his laurels, right? That if he does, that's when the King of Pentacles gets in trouble. So he is always upgrading his skills. He's always updating his skills, learning new things, and improving the skills that matter to him. It could be in any area of your life, but the Page of Pentacles is the card of studiousness and learning. So the more you learn, the more you earn with the King of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles. You have the King of Swords as well. Again, definitely could be attracting like an older person if you're looking for love. You could be the older person as well. Take how it resonates. The King of Swords is knowledge and wisdom, though. So again, you're probably attracting someone who has a lot of knowledge and wisdom. The funny thing is I feel like this person, I feel like I've said this to you before, Gemini, as well. Like, I feel like this person is like a little bit of a sleeper. And what I mean by that is, like, I'm not saying that they sleep all the time, although they might. But it's like, I feel like the way that this person presents themselves in the world, it's like a little bit dumbed down, right? It's like, if this person is like a millionaire, for example, it's like they might just look normal when you see them on the street. It's like, that's what I mean by dumbed down. And I'm not saying they're dumb by any means. Clearly, they're very intelligent. But, there's something about that popping into my head. And that might be a clue for you. That might be something that you learn about this person. So if you're looking to know, like, who is the right person, I would say it's a person where it's like they present themselves one way, but they kind of are another, I hope that makes sense. With the Temperance card, you have the Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles is my card that says, is the juice worth the squeeze? So I feel for a lot of you that this could be about, kind of looking at the things that you're working on and determining whether or not it's worth it or not to keep working on what you're working on. And, definitely something I would look at. With the Page of Pentacles, you have the Hermit. The Hermit is about being in hermit mode. Yeah, obviously, see, I said this to you as well. I feel that for some of you, there's a person that needs to know you exist with that Page of Pentacles. So again, if you're like interested in a person, like maybe you work with a person, but you've only saw them once passing by in the office, it's like maybe they don't know you exist. So I would, you can create scenarios where you run into this person. You can, do things to make this person notice you. And, there's definitely an energy about that. The other thing I would say for all of you, is that, remember, the Three of Pentacles with the Moon was really saying to me that you need to get the recognition you deserve. So the Hermit says you can't stay hidden. You have to do more to get attention. And I feel this reading is really saying that would be very helpful for you. With the King of Swords, you have the Knight of Swords. Yeah, no rushing. I think as long as you don't rush, especially if you're meeting a person of love, as long as you don't rush, I feel you'll be perfectly fine. And there will be nothing to worry about, Gemini. For your outcome for the good stuff, you have this Exploration card. It says, right now you need to search and explore. It's okay to wander until you find your home. You have this Cosmic Egg hatching. It says, what you've been waiting for is ready to be. There you go. I mean, we kind of said that with that Moon and the Three of Pentacles. It says, your patience is about to be rewarded. Temperance. Temperance is all about your patience being rewarded. So I feel for a lot of you, your patience is about to be rewarded. Just that simple. You have the Wheel of Fortune, the Five of Wands, and the Two of Pentacles. The Wheel of Fortune would represent your fortunes changing, especially in the good stuff. I definitely much prefer the Wheel of Fortune in the good stuff. The reason is I think the Wheel of Fortune is a good card, but I think people make it out to be way better than it actually is. So if the Wheel of Fortune shows up just in the other parts of the reading, to me it represents more of an action. Like the Wheel of Fortune does not just happen magically. We have to get the wheel spinning in the right direction. But when it shows up in the good stuff, it kind of does say that your fortunes are changing and things will be improving. Next, you have the Five of Wands. The Five of Wands is conflict and competition, but remember, the whole entire reading is talking about you standing out or getting recognition. And coming up in the good stuff, it would say you are kind of standing out above the competition, or you're getting more recognition above the competition, which is exactly what you should be doing with the Five of Wands. Probably the best thing you could do with the Five of Wands is stand out. Next, you have the Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles is like this or that thinking. And Two of Pentacles can represent juggling and being very busy. I do feel that all the air signs actually are going to probably increase in their busyness over the next few years, really. So you could be busier than ever and have a lot going on in your life. But as long as it's fulfilling, then I think things will be going well. And as long as you focus on fulfillment, the busyness will probably be because you're having fun. With the Wheel of Fortune, what do you know? You have the Two of Cups here. Two of Cups is just communication. So, like I said, Venus retrograde. There's no reason to rush with a person. This right here is a Staff of Hermes, and the Staff of Hermes is Mercury. So this would represent communication. Also Leo right here. So definitely could be a Leo or a person with Leo in their chart here coming in for you. But again, Two of Cups is just communication. Two of Cups is usually a person who is different than your usual type. So there definitely is a person that could be changing your love story, right? With the Five of Wands, you have the Page of Cups. Yeah, it could be a person that there's a lot of competition for, because we have the Five of Wands with the Page of Cups. And again, it was so interesting to me at the beginning of the reading, all these kings showing up like this. So, it could be a really special person, or it could be a person that a lot of people desire. But, like I said right here, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. So, it doesn't matter how many people want this person. You could be the person that this person wants. And that's what you need to realize. With the Two of Pentacles, here you go. You have the Queen of Wands. Very fiery connection here. I feel like this is very different, Gemini. Like, I'm not trying to be mysterious here or anything, but, it's like I feel like there's almost like a new level of attraction going on here. It's like sometimes I think we can be attracted to a person, but they don't really get us all that excited, right? But then we have those people that are like irresistible. And I feel like this is a little bit of like an irresistible connection that's coming in for you, something that you can't deny, Gemini. So there you go. I would go for it. You have this October card, and you have this Archway card. I always clarify these monthly cards. The the Archway card says new opportunities, possibilities, and paths opening up. That's literally what we talked about the entire reading. So the reading is just repeating itself at this point. Between now and October, there could be a lot of opportunities that you want to take advantage of. You have this February card, and you also have this Flag card. It says, do not be tempted to lower your standards. Eight of Cups, plain and simple. We really need to make sure that we're not lowering our standards with the Eight of Cups. As long as we do that, we'll be fine. So don't lower your standards. You have this Boot card. It says, increase your efforts if you want to achieve your goals. Yes, like I said, you can't stay hidden. That is the effort that you need to increase, is attention. I think this is true for all air signs. I think if you have air in your chart, you need to increase your attention as well. And again, I hate when people say, do as I say, not as I do. I do this stuff, right? This year, I'm an Aquarius rising, I'm a Gemini moon, and I have Mercury in Aquarius as well. And this year specifically, I've been like posting more on Twitter. I've been doing like all sorts of stuff to get more attention, right? So that's where I would increase my efforts if I were you, and I do. So do it, and you will be pleased with the results. Maybe not immediately, but over time. You have this Harp card. It says great happiness on it. I think everybody needs to focus on happiness right now, just in general. And what I mean by that is, like, do you have activities? Do you have people? Do you have things that you can go and do that make you happy? And if the answer is no, then you need to go find something. And people always say to me, I don't know what makes me happy. And I always say, you have to find out. Yes, you do have to figure it out, because, the alternative is worse. So if you don't know what makes you happy, go do something that you think you might be interested in and see what happens and go from there. And there you go. Finally, you have this Finger card. It says, warning you of a problem either now or in the future. I really, a lot of people have been getting energy like this, and I think we need to not ignore problems, is what the cards are trying to say. If something pops up, take care of it. Even the Wheel of Fortune says that. Wheel of Fortune spins both ways. Wheel of Fortune says, take care of your problems quickly and double down on the good stuff. If you do that, you will get the wheel spinning forward, which is exactly what you want. So there you go, Gemini. Looks really good. I like it. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your week.